All right, let's just jump into it, shall we? We're kicking off some historic that is now Nexus free, God bless, with some jumpstart cards in a combo deck. So Dualcaster Mage was a card printed directly into historic on Arena via jumpstart. So when Dualcaster Mage enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. So Dualcaster Mage, along with Quasiduplicate or Replicate, allows you to make an infinite number of 2/2 creatures, or as many as you would like. So you need 6 mana in play. You target a creature you already have with Replicate or Quasiduplicate. You then cast Dualcaster Mage in response to your copy spell. Dualcaster Mage comes into play, copies your copy spell, and then the copy of your copy spell copies Dualcaster Mage, and you rinse and repeat, doing this endlessly until you have as many 2/2s as you are happy with. The rest of this deck is a Temur ramp shell, since you do need 6 mana to pull this off. Accelerating our mana seems appealing. At the top end of our ramp deck, we've got Cavalier of Thorns here, which is just like a good body, as well as a card that helps us put Quasiduplicate into the graveyard when we look at the top 5 cards of our deck. So this can help us find one of our combo pieces. And then we have Thragtusk here, just, you know, fantastically powerful Magic the Gathering card that was introduced to Historic via Jumpstart. That's also great to copy, so, you know, it's a thing we don't mind making more copies of here. We've got some acceleration / color fixing at the bottom end of our curve, and then we've got Bonecrusher and Brazen Borrower as threat / interaction. These are also extra things that you could technically Dualcaster Mage. So if you don't have your combo card here in a pinch, you could like stomp something and then Dualcaster Mage copy the stomp, etc. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this and see how it goes. Oh, that's a good question. I should restart Cardboard Live and see if there's an update. Let me relaunch that. Let me make sure that account detailed logs are on. Good. I'd love to play first. No combo or ramp, but has all of our colors and like has early plays with the Brazen Borrower. Originally we were going to play Blue-White Spirits as the first deck today. Then we had to cut the line for this one. I think the only deck we're playing today that doesn't have Jumpstart cards in it is the Grixis Breach deck coming up later. That's a Paradise Druid. I think I'd rather just Uro. Oh yeah, I suppose we could do both actually, right? If I put the untapped land into play. That's fair. But you see, I was tactically saving my Paradise Druid to discard to this Nicol Bolas the Ravager. For I see deep into the future, chat, with the next level plays. Someday you'll be on my level, chat. Someday. Demonic Embrace the Bonecrusher Giant. Well, la-dee-da. That's certainly a play. Alright, so what do we want to do here? I think it's Brazen Borrower, Dualcaster Mage, the Brazen Borrower. I think is the play. I'm at 3 here. I'm gonna stomp their face in response to this rather than discard my Bonecrusher Giant. Got me. 4 cards total in the bin. Nice even 7 mana here, so I'll get to go this, this, and this. You cannot recommend Mythos because Quasiduplicate has the benefit of being castable from our graveyard, and the Mythos means that you have to have 7 mana to combo instead of 6. So, in addition to being more expensive, it's harder to find because we have to actually draw it. The more Magic changes, the more it stays the same, chat. It's something that's important to remember. I mean, the Grixis aggro deck is very good. Yep, Embercleave is still very much legal, and one of the best things you can be doing in this format. Magic is a game that is largely about combo killing each other. Do I want Scavenging Ooze? They're killing a lot of stuff. Is Brontodon big enough to block a lot of their things? I'm not sure that it is. I guess Gust is probably fine too. Let's become a little bit more interactive post-board. It's fine. Not amazing, but fine. I was watching Girl aggro with the ban card still in it this morning get dumpstered by what the Nexus deck looks like to be morphing into with Ugin. I mean, I think it's a weird assessment to say that, like, the Nexus deck morphed into something with Ugin, because, like, just Ugin goes in ramp decks is, like, accurate. And, like, Nexus decks were ramp decks at their core. Lava Coil, not strictly a combo with our Scavenging Ooze. I think I just kill this to smack their face here. Hopefully, if they Nickel Bowl us, we can draw a land to stick this next turn. Hey, Psycho Smurf, thanks for the tier 3. I do have a Jund's Historic list I can put that towards. Feels Magic Man. 30 mana sources later. Did you end up crafting Jumpstart cards? No, I crafted them. The bottleneck on Jumpstart is going to be Mythic wild cards. Alright, little late, but better late than never. I think we're dead, chat. I think we're dead. The Grixis deck's very good. The Grixis deck's one of the many historic decks you can find up on my website. It's in the proven section for a reason. I put up results at one of the early Hoaglandia events. Also had good results with it on the ladder at different points. I think that opponent's archetype is super well positioned. Being proactive and killing people with Embercleave is likely still one of the best things you can be doing in this format. I think if either of these was green-red, I'd keep this, but I think without red mana, I just can't. This is fine. We'll keep Bottom of the Forest. Yeah, I think the Expansion Explosion deck will very directly port from Standard to this format. I think the Bant decks we've seen from Standard are going to port to Historic. They'll probably play Thragtusk, because blinking your own Thragtusk with 3 mana Teferi is very good. Just get set up here for turn 3 Thragtusk on the play. Not bad, not bad. Using these as a ramp spell in a pinch is nice with Llanowar Elves. Looks like our opponent is playing Kisis combo. Hey, Satyr Sith, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Kisis didn't really gain anything from Jumpstart, right? I did a double take on the cards that were legal in it last night, and I don't think it did much.
Thank me later. There was nothing.
Alright, let's steal your Planeswalker. So they bounced my Thragtusk token, but I still get a Beastly out of it, so we'll take those.
Now what?
I think I'm going to hold on to that. I don't really need more than 5 mana, and I think cycling this has more value than anything. There's an Uro. And that is the second green source. Opponent needs to escape Uro next turn. Can also just copy it with that. Gonna have a tough race here. Opponent's gonna be set up to gain 6 next turn. Okay. Well, we have all of the Thragtusks, chat. Can Thragtusks beat 2 Uros, though, is the question. I don't think the answer is yes. So, like, next turn, they get to copy Uro and then escape Uro? Because remember, this retains its name. Rip buying into Pioneer. Thanks for the 5-month serious business. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Are we not escaping Uro and copying Uro? Okay. We take those. We're discovering Boar Tribal. This is a beast. Excuse me. This is a beast. Casting Lures means they're probably dead to their combo, right? Why? How? They don't have a Diligent Excavator in play. What are they doing to combo me here? Please explain. Maybe you don't know. A lot of people... don't seem to really fully grasp how the Kisses combo works. Just like assume they're dead at random points. They just like couldn't be further from it. Yeah, the opponent deck like needs Diligent Excavator to like actually combo.
I really should have seen that coming. You show remorse, I'll show restraint. I've got it.
Yeah, Thragtusk was originally printed to address the card Vapor Snag in Standard. I feel like the opponent would have been in a better spot here if they would have just, like, copied Uro and then escaped Uro. I don't know what they're doing here. We don't know what cards are in their hand, so it's, like, hard to know if they're, like, making mistakes or not. It's tough to like, understand if they're making good or bad decisions without all of the information. I don't think that's remotely true, Scamos.
Trust me, I have a plan.
I would argue, Brandon, that the Underworld Breach version isn't this deck. Like, as we're gonna play Grixis Breach later today, and I think it's just a different archetype than what this opponent is playing. Yeah, my opponent took a bunch of game actions here, but they're dead, right? I'm not quite sure what they were hoping to accomplish there. Maybe they might be newer to their deck. Again, like I said, it's tough to know without knowing like the full context of their hands. I guess they have a couple of mocks left over. You can mocks, I guess, but what else you got going on? Geese has a much better fair game plan than Breach. I don't know if I agree with that. The fact that the Breach deck gets to play Kroxa and Laz too, once upon a time, I think I would have agreed with that, but I think the configuration of Breach that we're playing today actually has a very good fair game plan as well. They're not dead because of lifelink. I'm going to time you out because that's actually just not true. They get to go block, block, and go to 6, and then I attack them for more than 6. Good try, though.
I know my responsibility.
Like, they can even bounce this beast token and still be dead, right? Yeah, I feel like a lot of my opponents probably concede when my opponent starts doing stuff like this, but like I understand how their deck works, and like they very clearly don't have anything going on, so no need to concede. Maybe there should be 4 skews in my sideboard. I cut the 4th skews when we were going through stuff, but this is actually like super good in a lot of these random graveyard matchups, huh? I mean, I think it's unfair to say their sequencing was horrible, because we don't know what they were going for. Again, like, people like to try and be super judgmental without having all of the bits too often. Ha! This technically can counter Kisa's activations, huh? Again, remember, if you want to be critical of my opponent's plays, that's fine, but you better be constructive and specific while you're being critical. So say, hey, this is the mistake they made, and this is why it's a mistake. Bonecrusher Giant actually isn't very good here, is it? It doesn't really meaningfully interact with anything they do. Let's try this. I brought in some interaction, keeping my combo, keeping my top end. I think if you're interested in playing something like the opponent's deck, the Grixis Breach deck we're gonna play later today is doing something similar-ish and generally speaking better. I'm gonna mulligan this. Doesn't have any acceleration or cheap interaction in it. Let's draw some lands, huh? This hand has 5 good spells in it. If we draw some lands, we'll be okay. Or maybe we won't, and we'll die, and we'll go to game 3 on the play. It'll be fine. Nailed it. Opponent missing white mana here, 2 Sultai Triomes. Okay.
I'm known for my excellent height. Don't worry, I got it.
Hoping for a land tier. It's nice to be able to do a full day of Magic. I didn't intend to take a bunch of days off from Arena. Like, I am genuinely enjoying Runeterra, but, like, I want to do a mix of both games. It's just, like, Wizards decided to, like, lame duck their formats for 9 days on their Premier application. Kind of made my decision for me. I genuinely tried to do Standard, and Standard's just, like, it's just a total dumpster fire. I'm trying, chat. I'm trying. They're just making it so hard. Maybe I'm not supposed to play the Goose. I'm supposed to just play Skews and eat 2 things. Hey, thanks for the half a year. Gives me Zen Grief. I appreciate that.
I've got time.
Okay, there's a Kisis, but they only have 2 legendary things in their bin. Sure. Sure. Yields Magic Man. I think we're too far behind at this point. I suppose if we find some lands, we could theoretically put together infinite 2/2s, right? There are Runeterra decks on my website. Click on favorites or videos Runeterra. You can find video playlists of all the Runeterra stuff I've done, and there's deck lists in the video descriptions, just like Magic. As for just like dedicated deck pages to each individual deck, I haven't looked into if there's a WordPress plugin for Runeterra decks or not. If there's not, it makes my job a lot more difficult. Can we combo with Teferi on the field? You're super right, we can't. You only see 1 video. That's a playlist, D. Brian. There's a little button in the top hand corner. You click it, and it lists all the videos. Basically every video embed on my website is a playlist. I think we're just dead at this point. We don't have a combo out while they have Teferi. That's gonna involve a lot of waiting, so let's just go to the next game. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's just, like, try and draw some lands on the play. Yeah, and even if they don't have Teferi, like, and we get infinite 2/2s, they could untap and combo kill us anyways. This is a matchup where the fact that our combo doesn't kill the turn we combo is a big deal. Hey, if you're playing in the Hoaglandia Open this weekend, though, you won't have to worry about getting hosed by Teferi, because Teferi's still banned in that event. I'm also planning, we're also leaving Reclamation banned as originally intended. Just because even with Nexus gone, sitting through getting Expansion Explosion from the standard deck being ported doesn't sound like a great experience, so. If you're interested in playing in that this weekend, make sure you get signed up. I think we have about, I think we had 67 people when I looked before I went live this morning. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and Quasiduplicate my elf here, because I can, what's it called? Jumpstart this. I could jumpstart this and combo it with my jumpstart card. So we make infinite 2/2s next turn if they don't play a Teferi. Work sucks, I know. She left me Teferi by the stairs. Surprises let me know she cares. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights on, Teferi is home. Na 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 na. Prison cards blow now. I don't think we're 0% to win that game, but I'm no longer having fun, so I'm going to concede. If you're not having fun, you should stop playing. Yeah, this is fine, right? We've got Paradise Druid to make red mana. In fact, I might just bottom this Bonecrusher and keep these. It's kind of amazing just how many, like, things that incidentally could be really sweet that, like, Teferi's just like, nah, man, that's not a thing you get to do. Magic's not about doing things, it's about saying no. Three Mana Vivian's like one of those cards that's just like so close to being incredibly sweet, but also just like so far away. Giant growth as an interactive card. That's a take. I mean, with these Thragtusks, we might be okay here. We can, like, draw another untapped land tier, play Cavalier, and then, like, buffer our life total with Thrag. What are the odds I die next turn if I play Cavalier? Probably low. No Quasiduplicate, but Llanowar Elves. Ooh, that's a nice feature. Look at this. When I click on my graveyard, the part that's grayed out, it isn't grayed out on the left side. That's a nice feature. Oh, their graveyard's fully grayed out. Mine's not. Okay. Or the right. Oh, the right's missing too. You're right. Oh, wait, on this one, it's just the right. Okay, so my graveyard has spots on both sides. Oh, did we do it? Did we do the thing? Oh, the firebrands stop us from doing the thing, right? The firebrands stop us from doing the thing. All right, let's Thragtusk and see where we go from there. Well, we're in an okay spot until they draw Embercleave. Anybody read this book before? Old British chap. Thank you for the brand new Prime Support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I can just put 2 Thragtusks into play here. I could also force their hand. I could copy Dualcaster Mage and force their hand. Nah, I'm probably just supposed to Thragtusk. I can't combo here because there's 2 Firebrands. Yeah, a lot of the Jumpstart cards aren't Mythics. Mythics are the issue. I only have 17 Mythic wild cards. I have, like, triple digits of almost every other wild card. Just gonna have to be conservative with which Mythics I allow people to submit decks with from Jumpstart. Because, like, it literally cost $18 a Mythic to get extra Mythic wild cards, because you're only guaranteed Mythic wild cards every 18 packs. Well, we have quite the board stall. Is Thragtusk a mythic now? No, it's a rare. Oh, that's pretty peak magic right there. I think we're probably gonna die because they have like all the goblins off the top of their deck. Thanks for the Prime support, Stormcooper. Welcome back. What does this do? It's 1/1 for each other goblin you control. Oh. Huh? Okay, so the plan here is to end step, bounce a Fanatic Firebrand, untap, and combo. Is the potential game plan. Jace Britton, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Oh, that's true. They do also have to spend their mana down. They have a Siege Gang Commander as well. Hopefully they're going to spend... They've been tapping out every turn. I'm assuming they're going to spend below 2 mana. Although that makes it more challenging, right? That's going to be too much. How do we combo Dualcaster's Gone? I have a Cavalier of Thorns that they're going to attack into. Oh, good. We still haven't fixed the issue with the sound being unbalanced randomly. That's nice. That's good stuff. And now we're randomly not attacking in. Got it. It's loud because Magic the Gathering Arena is a very buggy piece of application. Probably want to cut my Llanowar Elves with my Paradise Druids against their deck. Aether Gust sounds good against the mono red deck. Lava Coil sounds good as spot removal. Scavenging Ooze is probably fine. An average game. I'm gonna keep the Borrower, actually. It's a like small piece of interaction that could break up some of their stuff. Bring in 1 skews. This is not amazing, but I think it's in the range of keepable. He needs to draw some lands. We have a couple of cheap things to do even if we miss. Yeah, basically, Chris. What decks am I most excited about going into the open? I mean, I think all the decks that were good before their changes are still good after. Which probably means they're good changes, honestly. Guess I'm just passing, just like hoping to run off a couple of lands here. I guess I could counter that, but we're too far behind at this point. Their board's too well developed. We don't have any catch-up mechanics in our deck once we've missed a land for 4 turns. We can try again here. Yeah, a lot of the tribal cards out of a lot of the tribal cards are going to have a really hard time with the ramp decks. I would bet that ramp is probably the biggest winner of the bannings. I think the ramp decks from standards will probably port pretty elegantly over to this format. They'll be able to get to Ugin pretty consistently and beat up a lot of... I'd be pretty surprised if the elf deck is competitive. Elves isn't competitive in Pioneer, and it doesn't really have that better of tools in this format. The big problem with the elf deck is it doesn't have consistent 1-drops that it can play out. It has exactly Llanowar Elves, and that's it. The new Can't Be Countered card doesn't really help you develop your board quickly. Ramp decks are the biggest winner of a decision made in 2020. Stop me if you've heard this story before. I'm gonna try and bounce this and get rid of the Curious Obsession here. Doing it now before they untap, so they have to have Spell Pierce or Dive Down to save their thing. And they're sacking to counter because they want to stop my Brazen Borrower, I guess, but I'm pretty okay with that. So I get to do this. I get to play Llanowar Elf. I get to Brazen Borrower this. And now, if they redeploy Jhin next turn and I draw an untapped land, I get to play Cavalier, which is a good blocker. Yeah, I'm expecting ramp decks to be probably the best archetypes going into the open this weekend. I'm gonna bounce my Cavalier of Thorns here. Sure. Down to 9. Want to make sure I leave double blue open here, so this way I can play Brazen Borrower if I find any untapped land. Do you know how much of that was cosmetics versus cards? I have no idea. It doesn't benefit me to keep track of that differential, JW. If people are still playing aggressive decks, 4-color Yorian's a great choice. I think that archetype's super reasonable. I'm gonna let damage happen here. We get to put something on top of our deck. That's a Dualcaster Mage. Let's try and do the thing, huh? Almost made an oopsie there. Okay. No, please no main deck sleep. The click efficiency on this is really high. It's 1 click per 2/2. No, when you have enough tokens, you just copy something else. I'm gonna make 20 tokens. The click to combo ratio here is real good. 1 click to 1 token is fantastic. So you have no other creatures are stuck in the loop. Well, if you don't have any other creatures, you can't start the loop. So you have to have another creature in play to start the loop. If they draw an island, we're dead. It's all downhill from here, ladies and gentlemen. It's all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here. There is no joy. There is no joy. There is only whatever this is. All right, let's do it. You're like the third person to say that. Is the Jumpstart Limited just not well balanced? Are you not enjoying it because it's best of one? I'm curious what people who are not enjoying, people who aren't enjoying it, why do you dislike it? I think I'd rather stomp here than replay the Druid. The decks are not well balanced. It feels like limited, but without the fun of drafting. That's an indictment. It's kind of sad to hear. It seems like if that product was done well, it would be one of the better things they could release for that type of experience. probably dead here. I think this mono blue archetype's very reasonable as well. So we've gotten beat up a little bit today so far, but the things we've played against, splitting it's a good range of things. I'm gonna give this archetype one more shake, see if we could do the thing successfully and then not immediately die afterwards, but our deck feels pretty kind of clunky and mopey. Not super interactive, not super linear. Our linear thing has to give them a turn where they can still combo us or kill us back. Thousands of people expected to rally in Springfield, Illinois shortly to oppose children having to wear masks in school. Well, I assume since these idiots are rallying against children wearing masks, they also won't be wearing masks. So I would expect areas of my state to likely be going into lockdown again very soon. Since, like, we can't even agree on, like, protecting children being a good thing anymore. Like, it's just, man, I just don't really have words. That's true. If they don't want their kids to wear a mask, they should keep them home. So everybody should be doing this, not wearing a mask. They should stay home. You want the freedom to not wear a mask, you have the freedom to not leave your house. Thanks for the 21 buds, Siggy. I appreciate it. We did the thing, and then our opponent untapped and killed us anyways. Jail these idiots. Well, so part of the problem is the types of people who are likely to be police also seem likely to be the types of people that don't want to wear masks. And there's been issues in a lot of areas that are enforcing mask mandates that the police refuse to follow the law and help other people follow the law, giving us just another reminder why the police system in the United States needs to be defunded, torn down, and rebuilt in its entirety. Because it's a fundamentally broken system that cannot do the most basic things it should be able to do. I haven't been inside of a store since March. I haven't been inside of a building other than my home, outside of a hospital and a doctor's office since March. Like, I can't do anything other than what I'm currently doing. Like, done literally everything I can. It just largely doesn't matter. Today is March 141st for those counting at home. Many of the grocery stores in the town where we live, Torbran, let you order your groceries online, and then they bring them out and put them in the back of your car. So that's why I haven't been inside of a store since March. I've gone to a store, but not set foot inside of them. So we're at 3 cards in the bin, pretty far off of Uro. Dualcaster Mage at any point lets us combo with the Quasiduplicate, so that's nice. Yeah, we've been fortunate that our curbside orders have gone appropriately. I guess we're just bouncing this and attacking with Thragtusk, huh? Well, comboing is now off the table because they've played a Teferi.
Stand by and watch.
Oh, and they get to bounce their Crisis. And then, oh, and then sweep my board. I guess I have 3/3s at least. This could be worse. This could be worse. Glass half full. They're only gonna draw, oh, Field of the Dead. Yeah, that card's legal. Okay. Well. I love how Jeff keeps saying it could be worse as it keeps steadily getting worse. It's funny. It's funny because it's true. The Bonecrusher Giant is an incredibly good draw here because it means if we draw a Dualcaster Mage next turn, we get to combo them. Is that a Magic reference or a Life one? It's a 2020 reference, just kind of generic 2020 reference. You just keep looking at yourself and saying it could be worse, and it just keeps slowly getting worse as you keep saying it. Yeah, and the combo only works assuming they don't have another Shatter. Is accurate as well? Okay, I'm gonna concede at this point because we can't beat the Teferi. You know, when I woke up this morning thinking about, like, the Open and stuff this weekend, I was a little hazy on if, like, keeping Teferi and Reclamation banned in the event this weekend was, like, the right call. And, like, after playing these matches so far today and, like, just feeling how Teferi makes me feel to play against, having him banned this weekend is definitely the right call. It's just, like, this crushing, defeated feeling. Just like, well, I guess none of our outs matter, and our sweet thing is disabled, and yeah, it's rough. It's a hard knock life, chat. Yeah, sorry we haven't been able to highlight better, Scholar. It's tough out here. We did at least get to show the Dualcasters all coming into play one time. That's true. I think I am... Let's Quasiduplicate this, just in case we draw 5 next turn. I don't know, Lightning Bolt. So far, our attendance is super far down, but it's also, like, there's just so many variables. Like, it's hard to know if attendance is down because we added an entry fee. It's hard to know if attendance is down because of general interest in Magic and, like, Wizards having incredibly racist company practices and bad game management decisions. It's hard to know if people are just going to sign up at the last minute because of the entry fee. It's hard to know if people aren't interested in playing because of the custom ban list. So we won't really have a good feel until Saturday. We could still have a bunch of people add last minute. Speaking as someone who's, like, played a lot of paper Magic tournaments, like, Magic players aren't exactly well known for being, like, punctual and doing things in advance. And, like, for reference, when, like, the Open was free, we, like, filled the event almost a month out, but then, like, 100 people dropped or didn't show up the day of in the last 2 days. So there's kind of challenges regardless of how you approach it. Okay, so we get to stomp this, and then I get to kill this Teferi, and then I get to Uro here, and if we find, I could copy this to guarantee the mana, but I think I'd rather Uro. I don't know. We're probably getting swept next turn anyways, so, like, copying my Llanowar Elves isn't super appealing. Hopefully we just draw an untapped land and get to combo next turn. Well, another part of the problem is, like, speaking about that diversity post, Socio Penguin, is, like, expecting one person to be able to go into a company like WotC and affect change is probably not realistic, as a lot of people have pointed out. Like, if Wizards of the Coast is serious about addressing their issues, they should probably hire a firm that tries to work on that stuff. Yeah, it's also hard to know if, like, people are passing on the Open because they're not interested or going to have a hard time getting jumpstart cards, too. Like, there's just so many variables. Alright, untapped land here still lets us make a bunch of 2/2s. I think I'm supposed to play another threat out here. I have a stroke to counter a second sweeper, and I think it's important to go wide in case they hit a Field of the Dead. I think if I didn't draw another stroke here, I wouldn't play the other threat out. They get to escape Uro here and go to 10. But I still have lethal on board, right? Plus I have 4 damage in my hand. Yeah, I'm interested to see what numbers look like today and tomorrow, too. Like I said, M21 didn't really have, like, normal new set release number bump like I usually experience. And this set, so far today, is just okay. So we'll see if we build up at all or not. Summer's also, like, a historically low point on Twitch as well. There's just too many factors. I agree with that, Eledox. I think things would have been better off if we'd have stuck with 5 mana Wraths too. Definitely preferred that personally. To gauge my viewer relationship to the full MT. I don't understand your question, Sojourner. Thanks for the 35 months, Bob. I appreciate it. It did auto-hold priority when we had Dualcaster, which is good to know. I was assuming it wasn't going to do that since I still don't have the full control. A lot of Teferi so far, Worky Corgi. Yeah, that's true too. New product fatigue could be a real thing too, right? Like, M21 was surrounded by a bunch of other products too, and like M21 like just happened, and now we're on Jumpstart, so it's like hard to be excited for a lot of things that are all like rapid fire, boom, boom, boom. How do my numbers compare with the rest of Magic Twitch? So I don't know. The rest of Magic Twitch doesn't really impact me. I know as a whole, one thing I did look at for Magic as a whole versus the all of Twitch is that all of Twitch in general had a huge boost in March, April, May because of everything related to COVID, I would assume, and Magic in general did not have a boost in those months. What kind of ramp decks do you think will be the most competitive? Probably things with Llanowar Elves and Ugin. I would assume ramping into Ugin's the best thing you could ramp into. I mean, 3 of the 4 decks I'm playing today are historic decks with Jumpstart cards in them, so, As always, if you're interested and if I'll play something, submit it using the form on my site, and I'll get back to you. I am being a little bit more selective about decks I'm taking because Magic hasn't been particularly brew-friendly of the late. Yeah, the things I'm going to be most selective on with regards to Jumpstart is if you're submitting something with a bunch of mythics in it that probably won't be playable anywhere else, I'm probably going to reject it unless you do a large donation, because mythic wildcards cost somewhere between like $15 to $20 each. 15 to 18, sorry. 18's the cap on what they can cost. Yeah, I agree, Vorsmith. Lower powered formats tend to be more brew friendly. Big agree. I think I'm keeping the Thragtusk here. That is, that's probably unbeatable, right? Maybe if the rest of their cards are all blanks, I think they're gonna go up to 11 and shoot this, right? And we're basically just dead. Hey, Top Toe, thank you for the 24 months of support. I appreciate the tier 3. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, unfortunately, our deck was kinda clunky and slow. The best thing about our deck was being able to copy Thragtusks. The actual combo itself gets hosed by Teferi Time Raveler, like most sweet combos in Magic these days. And on top of that, even when your combo itself doesn't get hosed, you also have to get another turn where your opponent doesn't have a sweeper or combo you back. So like the one game in that set where we actually got to make a bunch of Dualcaster Mages with our combo, our opponent untapped and killed us. So, you know, Alright, we got a few more decks coming up today. Today's going to be all historic, planning to do 4 different decks. I'm going to quick ad roll while I get everything set up and flipped over. When we get back in a few minutes, we are going to try some Blue-White Spirits featuring some Rattle Chains and some Nebelgast Heralds out of the Jumpstart set. Back in just a few.